Picture this, 38 matches and 0 losses, going an entire league season without losing a single game. This is an achievement so rare it hadn't been done in football since the 1800s. During the 2003-2004 season, the Arsenal Football Club, led by Arsene Wenger, did the impossible. They were called the Invincibles, a team of grace, stubbornness, and brilliance that trampled the Premier League without losing a single game. Yet, during the same season, when they turned their eyes to Europe's grandest stage, the UEFA Champions League, their fairy tale crumbled. For all their domestic domination, the one trophy that had eluded them was the one that would have defined their legacy across the continent. This is the tale of the best team ever assembled that never won a trophy in Europe's most prized competition. A question that continues to linger in the minds of many fans is, how does a team so flawless in familiar territory falter on foreign soil? Both the club and the game itself were at the dawn of a new era when Arsene Wenger arrived at Arsenal in 1996. Wenger used many methods to help reshape the identity of the team, from revolutionary training practices, dietary regimes, and a philosophy that emphasizes having a technical advantage. In 2003-2004, his vision finally came to fruition when he built a squad that will be etched into the records of history. The mixture of defensive steel and attacking flair the team carried, Sol Campbell and Coco Torre formed the backline, Vieira's presence in midfield, Bergkamp and Robert Pires bringing creativity to support Thierry Henry at the very top of the pitch. This team was always going to be invincible. It went on to make history as one of just 2 teams to remain undefeated in an entire Premier League season, finishing with 26 wins and 12 draws in a remarkable display of consistency and resilience. The Invincibles, as they were later dubbed, sped to the league title, and did so in a manner that thrilled not just fans but also critics. They were aided by thoughtful recruitment and a strict adherence to Wenger's footballing ideal. Such a perfect record is an enduring reference point in football as a whole. But Arsenal's unbeaten effort in 2003-2004 is a magnificent singular Premier League monument. During the 2003-2004 season, Arsenal put together one of the most dominant seasons in football history. Since his appointment in 1996, Wenger transformed the Gunners into an indomitable force, with the notable highlight coming in the form of a unique Grand Slam, where the squad went unbeaten through a 38-game league season, recording 26 wins and 12 draws. They ended up with 90 points, 11 clear of Chelsea, who took second place, and were the first side to complete an entire top-flight campaign without a single defeat since Preston North End in 1888-89. But unlike Preston's season of just 22 games, Arsenal's achievement came in the modern era of 38 punishing games, relentless media scrutiny, and elite competition. Not only was this team hard to beat, but they were also a joy to watch. Thierry Henry led the line with 30 league goals delivered by the combination of his pace, intelligence, and finishing, throwing defenders into disarray. Supporting him were the technical genius of Robert Pires and the relentless running of Freddie Ljungberg. Paul Merson commanded with authority in the midfield, and the backline, anchored by Sol Campbell and Kolo Touré, stood like a fortress. Wenger's vision of fluid and attacking football had reached its pinnacle, and the league rewarded this moment with a special presentation of the Gold Premier League trophy to Arsenal. Years later, this team stands as a monument of perfection, forever unmatched, and a permanent part of the fabric of football. Next came the 2003-2004 UEFA Champions League, which saw the Invincibles have a tough time during the group stage. Placed in Group B with Inter Milan, Dynamo Kyiv, and Lokomotiv Moscow, the Gunners' first European game fell flat when they lost 3-0 at home to Inter Milan on September 17, 2003. Goals by Julio Cruz, Andy van der Meede, and Obafemi Martins shocked the Highbury faithful, handing the team a 6th consecutive home game without a win in the competition. A 0-0 draw away with Lokomotiv Moscow and a 2-1 loss to Dynamo Kyiv meant that after 3 games, Arsenal was at the bottom of the group, with just 1 point. However, the team's fortune started to turn thanks to a 1-0 home victory over Dynamo Kyiv, courtesy of a late header from Ashley Cole. The game-changing moment came on November 25, 2003, when Arsenal blew Inter Milan away with a 5-1 thrashing at home at the San Siro. 2 goals from Henry combined with goals from Ljungberg, Edu, and Robert showcased the strength and attacking prowess of the team. A second 2-0 victory, this time at Highbury against Lokomotiv Moscow, sealed Arsenal's place at the top of Group B, demonstrating a bold fight back from a near-hopeless situation. Now that they were at the top of the table in Group B, Arsenal felt confident approaching the round of 16 of the 2003-2004 UEFA Champions League. They faced Celta Vigo, a talented and unpredictable Spanish team. Arsenal were the clear dominant force in the first leg, taking a 3-2 win away from the Spaniards in their home at Stadio Balaidos on February 24, 2004. Edu scored the opening goal early on, with Robert Pires adding a second one to the table. To finish things off, Edu struck once again to give Arsenal the edge and take the win, despite Celta putting 2 points on the board. Back at Highbury in the return fixture on March 10, 2004, the Gunners were ruthless. In typical fashion, Thierry Henry scored twice, with 1 goal in each half of the game, to give the team a 2-0 win. This marked a major turning point, as Arsenal had never won a Champions League knockout tie before. The Invincibles had taken their league supremacy to European heights, and the expectations were at an all-time high. For a minute, it felt like the golden generation might go the distance. With Henry firing, Vieira pulling the strings from midfield, and the backline solid, the prospect of lifting Europe's most sought-after trophy felt more real than ever. After a fighting return in the group stage and a strong round of 16, Arsenal's Champions League hopes would be put to the test against domestic rivals Chelsea in the quarters. The first leg on March 24, 2004 at Stamford Bridge ended in a 1-1 draw, with Robert Pires finding the net for Arsenal and Gu Johnson equalizing for Chelsea. Marcel Desailly's late red card handed Arsenal an apparent edge going into the second leg. The return fixture at Highbury on April 6th saw Reyes give Arsenal a just before halftime lead, giving the impression that they had the upper hand. However, Chelsea equalized the points on the table just 6 minutes after the break when Frank Lampard scored a goal, which left the aggregate still tied at 2-2. Before Wayne Bridge slotted home the decisive goal in the 87th minute to give Chelsea a 2-1 win over the Gunners. This defeat was especially painful for Arsenal, who had come in unbeaten in the Premier League and as a clear favourite to progress. The result not only eliminated them from the Champions League, but delivered a potentially damaging psychological blow, as Chelsea broke a long undefeated run against Arsenal in a crucial European fixture. Arsenal's exit via Chelsea highlighted the unpredictable nature of knockout football and left a question at the end of it: how could a club so powerful at home fail abroad? While Arsenal's invincible 2003-2004 Premier League season is legendary, their European campaign that year told a different story. A number of factors led to their struggles in the UEFA Champions League. One big problem was the team's defensive fragility. Although they scored their fair share of goals, the team generally found it hard to defend when it mattered, especially in Europe. A persisting problem was their inability to keep clean sheets or manage games defensively. Another factor was tactical rigidity. Manager Arsene Wenger's devotion to an attacking style sometimes made his team vulnerable to the tactically smart European teams. While this strategy worked on home turf, it didn't quite stick on European soil, a continent where adaptability is crucial. There was also concerns regarding squad depth, as injuries to players like Vieira and Campbell during the group stages hindered the team's performance and chance to make an impact. Since there weren't many experienced names available to fill this gap, the team struggled to maintain consistency. Finally, there was the mental strain of European competition. They suffered from the weight of expectations and the difficulty of meeting unfamiliar opponents on bigger stages. The psychological block was quite evident during the quarters against Chelsea, with lapses of concentration that ended up being costly for the team. To sum things up, Defensive weaknesses, inflexible tactics, a limited squad, and psychological obstacles combined to prevent Arsenal from replicating their domestic success on European soil during the 2003-2004 season. The 2003-2004 Arsenal Invincible season is a monumental achievement in football history. The team achieved an unbeaten Premier League season under Arsene Wenger, finishing with 26 wins and 12 draws, a mark that still stands even in the modern day. This remarkable run not only secured them the league title, but also awarded them with a special gold trophy, symbolizing their exceptional achievement. The Invincibles' legacy stretches beyond just numbers. They refined attacking football in England. Possessing Henry's clinical finishing, Vieira's midfield prowess, and a well-drilled back line, the team was the epitome of balance and beauty. They inspired an entire generation and raised the bar for others to follow. Even though this domestic dominance didn't translate into European success, underscoring the difficulties of maintaining peak performance across competitions, the Invincibles' legacy still looms large, shaping club culture and football philosophy. Their unbeaten season is widely regarded as one of the greatest achievements in sporting history, and the team is frequently cited as one of the best in football history. Arsenal reached their first UEFA Champions League final on May 17, 2006, against Barcelona at the Stade de France. The match got off to a disastrous start for Arsenal when the goalkeeper Jens Lehmann was sent off in the 18th minute for a foul on Samuel Eto'o, a sending-off that became the first-ever red card in a Champions League final. Despite their punishment of being reduced to 10 men, Arsenal managed to put themselves in the lead in the 37th minute through a header by Sol Campbell from a Thierry Henry free kick. The Gunners held out until the 76th minute, when Eto'o scored an equalizer for Barcelona. Just 4 minutes later, Giuliano Belletti would score the winning goal, giving Barcelona a 2-1 victory. Even though Arsenal lost, their journey to the final was marked by defensive strength, with the team conceding no goals in the knockout stages to Real Madrid, Juventus, and Villarreal. The final was a bittersweet occasion for Arsenal, as it was a demonstration of both their spirit and tactical brilliance, while also being a major heartbreaker. It was one of the most important chapters of the club's history, reflecting both their potential to win big in Europe and the issues they faced when trying to claim continental glory. Even though their European dreams slipped through their fingers, the Arsenal Invincibles will always be remembered as a symbol of domestic splendor. Their legacy lives on, not just for what they won, but also how they played. Beauty, belief, and heartbreak. This is the story of Arsenal's greatest team that didn't need a trophy to make them legendary. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more such content.